Emotions rise, building up inside, trying to break it down. But you come back stronger, ready to fight. Can't wait any longer. It's our time. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars to make it. Stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars to make it. Stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Ethan Burrell going big spit by the 50-60s. It won't be enough. Chris on the back of Johnny Johns, who covered Johnny Tommy. It's going to Victor Rain at the Hona scores the win. The home place we're competing 3D by 3.
It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars that make it. Stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars that make it. Stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Nestled in the woods, 20 kilometers north of Milan and just 40 kilometers south of the famous Italian Lake District, you find the Cathedral of Speed, Monza. And now we're going to have cup cars racing around this fantastic circuit here for the Italian Stock Car Challenge. This is the JoinAPS.com Cup Series. My name is Rish Kosla, joined in the booth by Dave Huckleberry. And Dave, unique racetrack we have here tonight. Obviously, we've left the United States, a totally different track, a totally different challenge, something that we've never seen these drivers have to fare with before. And here's kind of a look at to what this track looks like. We call it the Cathedral of Speed. Those of us in the Formula One sphere of kind of just about what this track is all about. Really, it's straight lines, slow chicanes, straight lines, slow chicanes. It's just on and off and on and off. But you're hitting some huge speeds. Obviously, we're going to keep an eye out there on turn number 1 for the chicane. But then through the Curva Grande, can drivers stay flat there? That could be a huge area for these very low downforce cup cars. Then slowing it down again for the 4-5 chicane. And then being able to carry as much speed as you possibly can through Lesmos 1 and 2 before heading down another straightaway towards the Variante Ascari. A fantastic series of turns 8, 9, and 10 here at Monza. Really, again, you're on the absolute limit of grip and you're hanging on there, getting a good run onto the final straightaway before the famous Curva Parabolica to set yourself up for another lap. So a lot of time on throttle here. Something maybe more familiar for these guys who've run ovals quite often, but also a very, very different challenge here with all the chicane. So, Dave, what are you expecting to see here as we look at our starting grid here for this Italian Stock Car Challenge?
Well, I think we're probably going to have a lot of off tracks. We'll do our best to try to catch them all. Of course, we won't get full course yellows for a lot of them, so we might have to go back and catch a lot of them after they've happened and might miss a little bit, but cars have been all over the track in practice, so especially that 1-2, like you say, if we get through turn 1 and 2 relatively clean, then we might that could change the outcome completely.
Absolutely, and no shocks there for your front row here. RC Anderson, David Tooker taking over those top 2 spots, and a reasonable gap actually that RC had over Tooker, 0.4 of a second there to nab pole. We'll see if RC can stay there, of course, throughout the course of this 42-lap event. Chad Thornquist and Colin Scott make up the second row. Ryan Gavel, Matthew Weeks making up that third row as the field starts to roll here, heading into the Ascari chicane.
Going into Chad Frankenfield 7th, Tyler Fodey 8th, Daniel Martinez in 9th, Ryan Schold in 10th, Zach Rogers 11th, and Hunter Smith in 12th.
Try to get through most of these guys here, but not a ton of time here. But you have Latham Joyner and Chris Wright making up that next row, and Justin Vandermeer I believe, making his first start here in the Cup Series. Shane Terrian alongside him, Jesse Rasmus and Harrison Talon making up that 9th row.
Wes Crump, Bronson Stafford, Michael Hosack, Trevor Elam, Jared Rexing, and Nick Massey through the 24th position.
And we'll let the rest of the grid here scroll through there. Sorry we weren't able to get through everybody, but I didn't want to take a risk here at missing the green. We do have 46 starters today, so a little bit larger grid, allowing more guys to make the flight out to Europe to take part in this event. And I think it's going to be an absolute pleasure to see these cars race around here. Again, we're going to keep an eye out here on turn 1. You'll see that track map. For those of you who aren't too familiar with this racetrack, there at the bottom left of your screen, there's going to be the Porsche pace car. We got a Porsche pace car for this one. Love that. But we're going to head to Green Flag Racing as David Tooker takes the green, and we're underway here for the Italian Stock Car Challenge. Or, excuse me, great start for RC Anderson. Solid start for David Tooker on the outside. He might look for an opportunity here heading into turn 1, but everybody's got to be careful here. Tiptoeing on the brakes. Don't want to get any wheel hop, any major mistakes. We're going to keep an eye out, but it looks like so far everybody clean through turn number 1.
Looking back through the pack, everybody's still good. Everybody's still on track.
Oh, we have a car around 02. Chad Thornquist into the wall. Hard into the outside barrier in the entry of the Curva Grande. We will stay green for now. Again, we have manual cautions here for road courses. He's going to get back out on the track, but a great starting position suddenly squandered. Wonder what happened, if he got some wheel spin off of that corner, or if he got maybe contact with somebody, as we'll go to the Whiskey Cast replay here. So watch that 02 car around the outside of David Tooker. So he had a good turns 1 and 2. Struggles to get on the power there with the 19.
Oh,
yeah,
he just loses it.
Yeah, and so that's something I think we're going to see a lot of here with all these really slow speed corners, is drivers struggling to get traction as we have more cars all over the place in the next chicane, as this could be a pretty hectic one to call. We have the 02 back on the racetrack, but who's this now with issues? The 16
Alex
just
Gray,
decides to skip everything.
44 Goodman into the back of the 3 on Haney.
Ooh, and that's, yep. Haney, 63, Hank Steinmiller. I think that was the 90 of Scott Crump in that as well.
Latham
Josh
Joyner
Hodges
around as well.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's the 03.
Our...
Sorry, that's a 3 and 03 issue.
Oh, no, not that again. Yeah.
Yep. Well, we better jump back up front and
Man.
see what's going on.
Oh, we have Jared Rexing around now on the back straightaway. See if we can find him. Was that Jared Rexing? Might have been. It's already been fairly chaotic here.
Got Rusty Capel
Saw a
looking
yellow
off.
car. Oh, geez. There's Wyatt Canadle.
Canadle went around.
And Capel misses the corner over the speed bumps. Gonna stop the car there. Allow for the penalty to clear, and he's gonna head back out on the track. So an eventful first lap as we're still watching replays here.
Yeah,
it has been obviously fairly uneventful for RC Anderson, as he's now pulled out a 2-second gap over second place David Tooker. But man, oh man. Yeah, everybody's struggling right now just to get settled into a rhythm here, and we expected that, right? We talked about that at the start of the show. Guys are going to have trouble, getting to grips with this racetrack, with this car, and it seemed like practice as well was tricky for all these guys, throughout this event. But as it stands right now, the guys running up front will hopefully stay there, and you're really just looking to run a relatively clean race, because if you can run a clean race, you can probably get a top 10 finish here, if not even better.
Johnny Thomas have an incident. Let's see what happens with him. 91 car.
Ooh. Looks like he's going to miss he's just going to grab a little bit too much of curb there. Around goes the former Daytona 500 winner.
Oh, he's going to high spot it.
He's beached right now.
Yeah.
Wonder if he's gotten cleared, or if he's going to have to tow that car away.
Stay with him. See what we got. It's not even touching.
That's a painful position to be in.
He towed.
And day over. Day over for Johnny Thomas. He's being towed back to pit road, and we'll see if he can get back out on the racetrack, but that's an unfortunate way to start an event like this. But 3 laps in here. Now RC Anderson taking turn number 1 for that 3rd time, as we watch another replay for Rusty Capel.
He had 3 offs in a row, so I thought that was maybe worth looking.
Oh, so there's one. I'll probably back it up. No? Okay. All right. I think we might spend more time in replays during
Yeah,
this
he's just
race than we will.
shortcut that corner. Yeah, I don't think Rusty got the map, so I think he's
No.
we'll just leave him alone for a little while.
Just finding their way around. Of course, this is also a clockwise circuit, so you're turning right more often than you are turning left, so another area where these guys maybe not as familiar with. But it is RC Anderson, David Tooker, Kwame Scott looking very impressive, the rookie, putting in some great lap times, hanging on right now to the tail of the 19 of David Tooker, and again has so far been clear of mistakes. We'll reserve judgment until we get later into this race, but for the most part, yeah, very impressive there, as well as Rogers there in the 6th position. Remember, Zach Rogers had a very impressive run last week, but unfortunately wasn't able to convert it, but looked strong during the race. So he's certainly another one of those rookies to keep an eye out for this season.
Jesse Rasmus with an issue. The 70 car.
Another one of those guys just grabbing the curb a little bit too much, and he's going to actually make contact with the wall there. So damage to the 70 car. And of the 46 cars who started, we already are down to 41 still running on the racetrack. And quite a few of those guys are quite some ways down the order as well. So, yeah, definitely not ideal for these guys. As Harrison Talon spins around, this is
that's Andrew Rucker.
Incident, but I think we're going to, yeah, Rucker spins here, and I think Rucker is then going to run into Harrison Talon, who spun just in front of him a little bit later. So there's Rucker. Oh my God, we've got cars everywhere down here.
There's Harrison Talon into the wall.
So here's Harrison. So Harrison spins because of Rucker. Then Harrison in the middle of the racetrack, going to try and spin it around. Let's see here. And there's going to be Rucker. Hits him. Whew. Chaos out on the racetrack here in Monza. I think there's a potential chance that we may not be back, but how about this up front? The battle for the lead has closed up significantly. That last lap, RC Anderson actually was quicker than David Tooker, but I'm guessing there might have been a mistake on this lap for RC. That's allowed now Tooker and Kwame Scott to quickly catch up. As here we go, you see there, it's got to have been here on lap number 4, as otherwise Anderson was gapping David Tooker relatively comfortably, as well as the rest of this group. But here we go, we now have 4 cars in this battle for the lead. RC Anderson, David Tooker, Kwame Scott, and Ryan Gavel all racing it out here. We'll see if anybody can make a move down this back straightaway. If Anderson can start to pull away once again, or now that he's kind of allowed Tooker to get caught back up, does that draft become very effective for that 19 car?
Getting ready to cross the line here. We'll be able to see what the impact of this lap 4 was.
Yeah, it's got to be probably 152 for RC. I would imagine 152.
Oh,
yeah,
almost 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's basically the gap he had that completely disappeared. So I wonder if there was a mistake. We didn't see anything on timing and scoring, but to be fair, if there is an incident, it pretty quickly gets swamped up by other incidents, because I think there's something that just happened between Rusty Capel and Cody Harrington out of the racetrack.
Yeah,
we'll see how much of that we can actually follow. But we're probably going to spend more of our time here looking at this Whiskey Cast replay.
At least until the herd thins, anyway.
Yeah.
That's been a popular area for cars tonight.
Yeah, Capel's not loved that chicane either. Take a look. Did Harrington have a separate issue? We'll check in on that actually a little bit later.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean,
who was it? Chad or Cody?
Oh, Harrington might have actually had he had a blinking issue.
Yeah, he just
was what Harrington had. Yep. So back to the action up front then. This is on board with David Tooker as he chases down RC Anderson, and let's maybe stay on board here for a little bit of a lap around Monza. We have a little ways to go still, but we're going to watch here through the Ascari chicane. This one's so tricky. Starts out a little bit tight and then starts to open up as you keep heading through it. You want to not go too wide, though, off of that last part, because iRacing might penalize you. I'll actually have to check on the track limits if they're looking there, but I'm pretty sure they're evaluating the outside there of the Ascari chicane. and they are not actually. So you can use quite a bit of that track there, as long as you avoid the grass. But here we go through the curve parabolica, and let's run for an onboard here with David Tooker chasing down R.C. Anderson a lap around Monza. You're going to be continuing to accelerate here. Curious to see what the braking point looks like for these Cup cars. As here you go, we're getting close to turn number 1, and there you go, very, very early, 250 board is when you're hitting the brakes. That is ridiculously early. Nice and slow through the chicane, and you've got to be extremely careful getting back out onto the throttle. I wish iRacing allowed us to get throttle traces for these drivers, because you'd probably see them half to a quarter throttle still as they're getting up to speed here on the Curva Grande before finally the car starts to settle in the rear end and they can stay flat out. Again, slamming onto the brakes, you're going to be using those up quite a bit. Left-right chicane, watch that right side curb there coming off the chicane. It's already caught out a number of drivers, and now probably the two most exciting corners on this track. A little bit of banking here in the Lesmo 1 there. It's going to release you out, a little bit of a tighter exit than you expect. And same thing here with the Lesmo number 2. You've got a little bit of banking, but again, tighter exit than you expect. Use all of that, that road on the exit of the curb. And now again, down this straightaway, downhill, back to what we were just seeing before we went on board here, into the Ascari chicane. And again, just one of the most fun sequences of corners that you can drive on any racetrack in any car. Need to nail that first apex, hug that right-hand apex until it's the last possible second to dive to that left hand. Now back out onto the straightaway, and Ryan Gavel with a run on David Tooker here.
We'll jump back and go on the Gavel as he tries to make the pass.
Yeah, he's going to try here to the parabolica. He's got the inside line, but you can see the wheel hop that the 01 car has, and the brakes absolutely lighting up there. He gets the move done, but sliding out of the final corner. That's going to hurt his run down into turn number 1. I wonder if David Tooker can get him back. They've all cleared past Kwame Scott. It looks like Scott with a little bit of an issue as well. Dropped behind Matthew Weeks. But yeah, dropped a little bit of time there. And here we go, David Tooker to the inside, turn number 1. This could be dangerous, but Tooker gets the job done early. He's going to park it on the second apex, and he's going to make that move complete. And that's how you really have to make a move here at Monza, is take away that line and park it on that apex to prevent the guy from getting that over-under move.
Catching up with some of our offs, we had Tate Lytle with an issue. Kind of losing behind the trees here, but he's going to go off into the sand a little bit.
Yep, just a little bit on the gravel, and that's contact with the inside wall there for the 56 car. Second place finisher last night. Thought he might have been able to grab the win too, but yeah, that's unfortunate there. And then something here with Hank Steinmiller in the 63, again wide. Monza, notorious for being an unforgiving circuit here. There's really no runoff. This isn't going to be like some of the other tracks that you're maybe more familiar with in the Cup Series. It's going to be a lot more like kind of a Road America, which I guess is as Capel as having a rough night, and I think that might be the end of it.
And Michael Goodman's last one we have.
There's zero forgiveness here at Monza. Such high speeds, very little margin for error. You have some of these runoff areas, but again, they try to punish you, and with these Cup cars, with how stiff they have to be set up to even function remotely properly, you see them just how badly they can get upset by these speed bumps over here. And so round goes Goodman in front of the 99, but no issues there. And back out running for the number 44. We're down to 39 cars now currently running. Johnny Thomas is one of those. He is a lap down, so 38 cars on the lead lap here at a track where you have a 1 minute and 50-second lap time. So, man, just goes to show what what attrition we're already looking at here. Oh.
I'm hearing they're saying something about something that happens in 2 laps, but I didn't show that we were doing any stages or segments.
Yeah, it didn't sound like we were supposed to have stages here tonight. Once again, we weren't given too many too much guidance, I suppose, on that, or too much information. But we'll keep an eye on that.
Fun flag. We got a fun flag at 10.
Of course we do. Fun flags. I forgot we had those. All right, so that'll be a chance to reset the field there. Fun flags. Effectively, it's going to be a stage break. We won't have a stage 2 break, though. So this is really the only guaranteed caution that we have in this race. It'll tighten this field back together, and guys will be able to come down pit road, grab tires and fuel, get ready for another run there, kind of learn from whatever happened in the early stages of this race here, as looks like somebody else is going to have a rough time here. Dustin Dewer on the Whiskey Cast replay. As struggles, you can see he lost the rear end a little bit getting onto the corner, and just kind of stops the car there, kind of curiously in the Ascari chicane, but gets it back rolling.
One way to do it. Keeps clean.
And Mark Gillespie, if you're watching tonight, not sure if you are, but you'll be, I'm sure, happy to see the attention that Whiskey Cast is getting. Our replay sponsor here at the Elite Racing League's Whiskey Cast, a fantastic podcast by our good friend and colleague, Mark Gillespie there.
Michael Goodman with another issue.
Goodman to the inside of, is that Rebelos there in the 99? As, ooh, wow.
Too much of a left turn.
Kind of kept turning, yeah.
Oh, they pounds it into the wall.
That might have been a frustration bump there from the 44.
Pounds it into the wall again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think
Starting
he
to
might
look
be,
like an Austin Powers episode here.
ready to call it a night there, Michael Goodman.
There he goes. I think he's settled down in
either way,
37th position. Oh, and live, he's off the track as well.
Goodman again, and into the wall again. Sorry, Michael. Not meaning to pick on you there. We're just showing whatever pops up here on timing and scoring. First, Rusty, I think, has had an unfortunate night. Now Michael Goodman following suit. This car looks severely broken. He's going to have to limp this back home and hope he doesn't get in the way of anybody else. This might be a tow situation. Might be day over.
All right,
here
I'm going to cut him a break.
Michael Goodman. We'll keep you guys updated at home. RC Enerson's going to come around, though, the final corner. And I believe, did they say end of 10 or at the end
It says lap
9?
10. So 10 going to 11 usually.
Alrighty. So one more lap here for RC Enerson before we get the
got
fun
the yellow.
flag, potentially. Nope.
See, they change it up on us all the time. So
And Gavel thought it was a lap early as well.
9 going to 10.
Alrighty, well, there we go. The Porsche pace car comes back out onto the racetrack in front of the 50. We'll pack this field back up, let them come down pit road, and try again here. But for the first quarter of the race, that was fairly eventful, don't you think?
I'm hearing in my ear that on road courses, they do it a lap earlier. So we're supposed to remember that for the one road course we do in Cup, like every so often. They'll have to gather up the field.
I was telling Dave here before we went live, somehow I've missed all the road course events that we've done for more or less the past year here in the Cup Series. So all the little the special rules we have for road courses, I'm totally unfamiliar with. So yeah, it'll take some time here. And Dave, I'm not sure how familiar you are with them either. So
no,
we're in a good spot here to be calling this race.
We're just on trial by fire here. We'll just go with what we see. Try to run through the field here a little bit, give a view of some of the people who haven't been off track, so you haven't seen them tonight yet.
Yeah. RC Enerson, Ryan Gavel, David Tooker, Matthew Weeks then in fourth. Kwame Scott going to round up that top five, as then you go back to Tyler Fodey. Zach Rogers, the rookie, followed by Hunter Smith, having a good run there. His IndyCar experience paying off. Daniel Martinez in the 9th position, followed by Latham Joyner. And Ryan Schultz behind him. Trevor Elam in the 12th spot. Scott Crump recovering to the 13th. He's actually one of our biggest movers of the night, up 29 positions. Bronson Stafford up 6. And then Michael Hossack there rounding out our top 15 in the 24 car, up 6 positions as well. And old Gerald there taking part tonight, up 9 positions from his starting spot.
He's going to have to do better than that. If he's going to opt out of being in the booth, he's going to have to be above 16.
Yeah, they needed an off track tonight, and Gerald said, "Nah, I feel like driving here." So we're gonna need to see maybe some better results there. We'll would should have coordinated with him. We should have gotten an in-car interview there with the old driver there of the number 31. Though I'm not sure we'd want to hear what his thoughts are here at Monza. A little bit of a surprise there. Chad Frankenfield down the order in 21st. You'd normally expect him to be up the order on a road course. Chad Thornquist, of course, had that lap 1 issue. We'll see how he's able to recover, if at all, with whatever damage is on that O2 car. And Hank Steinmiller, another one of those guys you'd expect would be fairly solid on a road course. He's had some good runs before as well. So all guys a little bit further back who maybe had 1 or 2 offs early on in the event, looking to maybe race their way forward here with the next 30 laps. We will be heading to pit road, though, I believe, this time. So that's going to be another interesting addition to this race as we run through the rest of these guys running inside the top 30. And
Here
again, 35 cars on the lead lap and 38 still running. And here we go. RC Anderson lead this field to pit road. And hopefully no major issues for anybody. I wonder how this pit road looks from the driver's perspective. We unfortunately don't see all the details that the drivers do. Because obviously there's no, it's not quite the same with the wall and having kind of your number peeking out over. So I wonder how you identify what pit stall you are here at Monza.
Yeah, we have a nice clean view where they would be in utter chaos.
Oh yeah. You've got all the mechanics in the field. You've got all the different signposts for the drivers. That could certainly be problematic. But here we go, off track. Chad Frankenfield rolls. Did he go down pit road?
He did not pit.
Is that right? Yeah, he did not. So he pitted before the caution.
Yeah. Probably
so
one of the few who remembered there was going to be a caution. So
likely why he was able to. Yeah, him and Chad Thornquist. So it's an all Chad front row.
I will note that
Ryan
since he pitted on lap 6, he announced the fun flag caution at lap 7 after he had pitted. So. Smart.
We're gonna need to get with a off track here in the room and see if he's got a special wire to Chad here during the race.
Jeff Green must have. He's trying to go back to some of the people who crashed like right before the caution. And Jeff Green opted out now. Hank Steinmiller with another off.
Well, when it comes to road courses as well, just trying to look down the list of tracks that we have visited before in terms of, if there is much similarity, and it's kind of hard to find. I look at Circuit of the Americas, the Roval, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is probably the closest, where you have a lot of chicanes and a lot of straights. But Gilles Villeneuve is almost a little bit more of a flowing racetrack than Monza is. Take a look at some others. Daytona Road Course, of course, another Roval type racetrack. Where else have we been? Mid-Ohio is a very flowing type racetrack, but another one of those tracks where you're going to have very little room for error. So again, you go off track, and I wonder how that race went. That was all the way back in season 4 was when they raced at Mid-Ohio. That one must have been. I probably called that race, and I don't remember that. That one there might be a reason I've blanked that from my memory there.
Nice
Road America, there. Of course. Oh yeah, there you go. Just shows you the again the back and forth there of the Ascari chicane. It's gorgeous. Sebring. Oh, I do remember Sebring. That was I think I raced Sebring, and that one was a rough one. And then of course some of the ones we did last year at Suzuka, of course. And Watkins Glen as always. So a variety of tracks we've been to road course wise. We've had some good experiences, but I don't think we've spent much time outside of the United States. The only time we've left, I believe, was Suzuka and Twin Ring Motegi for the Japanese section of last season. Though I think this is the first time we've headed to Europe in this Cup Series. So exciting there. Hopefully some more races to come. I think there are some spectacular European tracks that we should try to get these guys racing on more often. Monza, of course, one of those. I think there's they were at Red Bull Ring for the Xfinity cars earlier this week too, weren't they?
Yes, we were. I've been in Europe since then.
How did that race play out?
Very similar. It was pretty hectic early. Much what we see here. Enerson and David Tooker, I believe, ended up winning that. They kind of were the class of the field and kind of ran away with it for a while. And we had a very thin field by the time it ended. I think we had maybe 18 cars running at the end.
Oh, that's nothing. That's too many cars there. The
they stuck with it. There were several of them with missing parts and stuff. So
one of the favorite races I ever called was an IndyCar race at Long Beach, and I believe we had 5 total cars finish that race. 3 of them on the lead lap. It was quite possibly one of the greatest races of attrition I've ever witnessed, as just about everybody crashed out. Oh, we should get these Cup cars on the Nordschleife there. That would be probably have a 1-lap race there, and that would be enough to take out probably all 40 cars.
If we log in and it says 42 laps, I'm out.
Oh yeah, 42 laps of the no, that's a little excessive, but no, I think you could probably do like a 3 to 4 lap race around there. You'd have a reasonable amount of time spent on that one. But yeah, I mean, there's some good options. I think and I think there's even, I wonder if iRacing has some of there's some oval tracks as well in Europe that I think would be worthwhile to check out too. I wonder if iRacing has those as well.
I did hear Xfinity is going to run this Monza oval next year. So now that Monza people have bought Monza, usually what we'll try to do is reuse tracks that people may have to buy. So they're going to run the oval in Xfinity next year. So that should be chaotic. So
that's going to be absolutely chaotic, and I am here for it. That's going to be fantastic because that is a very bumpy track as well. And you see as they go into the bridge here, on top of that bridge, you can just see the surface is the oval actually. And it's a concrete surface. I don't even know the banking on that Monza oval, but I think it puts Daytona to shame because it is actually ridiculous. Let's see if we can. How steep is the Monza banking? 80% gradient. What's that in degrees here? What's the banking at Daytona look like?
See. Do a little Google in here.
Yeah, 31 degrees. Okay, so it's about the same there as Daytona. It's about 30 degrees of banking, I think, on the oval. They say approximately 30, so they I don't think they've measured it. But the race lap record around there was in a 1958 IndyCar, and they did 176 miles an hour average lap speed in 1958. Jeez. It's a quick track there. It's again 2.6 mile oval, so it's a pretty sizable racetrack as well. We'll be part of our restrictor plate season, I suppose, in the Xfinity Series as the pace car does peel off, and basically immediately RC Anderson gets back to the throttle, gonna catch Chad, or excuse me, that's RC.
Chad.
I'm thinking, yeah, he's in the Ford still. No, it's Chad Frankenfield gets onto the throttle very early there. Surprises there. I think Chad Thornquist, and Thornquist under attack now by Ryan Gavel. We'll see just behind them is going to be Enerson and Kwame Scott. You have Frankenfield, and around goes Thornquist in front of the entire field coming off of turn number 2. And that's going to really shake up this order here. It's going to be absolute chaos as the second caution does come out for a blocked racetrack. There's the O2 car. But that can mess up a lot of drivers' races there.
Yeah, I'll try to go back here and tag it with Chad Thornquist.
Yeah, let's take a look. Turn 2 has not been popular, so deep on the brakes there for the O2 car. Does he just not get it slowed down in time? Looks like he's there. He might actually just get... No, there's clean racing there between the 15 and the O2. He just gets on the power too early. Yep, too early on the power there for the O2. Nabs the O1.
Anderson into him. Fodey around. 12 was round.
Yep. Oh, 12. You can't be backing up at that point in the... Yeah, and drivers not happy with Chad Thornquist there either.
A lot of yelling.
But yeah, a lot of yelling. Yeah, a lot of words being shared.
Oh, Gerald. Gerald takes a crump and punts him through the corner.
Oh, that would explain a lot. I was gonna say I heard some words from choice words over the radio from Crump. Wasn't sure what those were, but I think we found out what the cause of that was. Gerald Campbell either just missed his braking here, or was not very happy with the driver of the 90 car. Yeah, that one's
A lot to look at by the off track.
Yeah. I think I see why Gerald
Gerald
maybe
said it
didn't
was
want to
me.
be the.
So
It wasn't? Okay. I'm
he's-
trying to see. I do see Gerald in one of the racetrack. I wonder if we can pull him out here. I'd love to speak with Gerald. But maybe we'll wait for the next caution here. Allow things to settle a little bit. But it could be a long caution too.
So the number 90 and the number 31 EOL.
Both of them have an EOL.
Yeah, Crump for a lane change and Campbell for the contact. So there may have been a lane change that made Gerald make the contact.
Interesting. Alrighty. Good to know. As I think Thornquist is officially out of the race.
Turnquist has checked out.
Yep. And so yeah.
Yeah, kind of a bit of banter about causing two accidents in first two courses, and then leaves.
Yeah, I mean it's that's part of it. It is what it is, and yeah, I mean as the guys settle in, we'll also settle in by speaking about our premier sponsors here at the Elite Racing Leagues with the opportunity we have here now. We're going to start with Breezy Cam there on your screen. Breezy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston. They're on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places as if users were controlling their own native camera app on their phone. Except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Breezy at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across 4 different continents. Also want to thank TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. And finally, Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg Marketing is the marketing department for small businesses. You know the drill with them now. Sponsor of the number 40 car, Tyler Fodey. If you're a small business owner, then Blue Egg Marketing is your absolute biggest fan. Whatever your constraints are, help catalyze creativity, and they will help your business punch above its weight class. Thanks so much to our premier sponsors here at the Elite Racing Leagues. And I also want to thank the joinaps.com. APS offers a complete solution for all types of businesses that need to process credit card-related transactions. Their industry-specific solutions provide the best options for your business model. They have experienced client service representatives who understand what your processing needs are. So check APS at joinaps.com. They've been a sponsor, title sponsor of this Cup Series for quite some time now, basically since the inception, I believe, of this Cup Series. It's been an incredible partnership that they've had here with the Elite Racing Leagues. So, 15 laps completed, underway with our second caution of the night, and unfortunately, with how long the laps are, the cautions last quite a bit of time here. The 64 car with a
and some of these tallies are from
that.
ways back. We're short an all-track admin tonight, so they're trying to go through them as they go. One of those being Chad, of course, who's driving in the race. So we are probably catching up on some of these.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a little bit of movement here for sure, and yeah, we'll see what drivers are thinking. Lights still on the pace car too, so that means we've got at least 2 more laps to go here before we're back to green. I would assume that was the pit open lap right there. Surprised that we didn't have any takers either. Had a couple maybe a little bit further back, but for the most part, guys opting to stay out on the racetrack, not grab fuel. I think we're still expecting everybody to be in the position where you've got at least one more pit stop here before you can make it to the end. And let's take a look at what the future looks like here in the Elite Racing Network as well. There you see in the Truck Series, they head to Phoenix coming up next before they go to Eldora, Dirt, and Tsukuba. That's going to be a wild couple of weeks for them. Of course, here in the JoinAPS.com Cup Series, we have Darlington for the Southern 500 next week. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a rough one. But we're going to bring you all the action from that. Formula One visits the Belgian Grand Prix there at Spa-Francorchamps next weekend as well. And then we had the Red Bull Ring earlier on Monday, and then Indianapolis Race Park, IRP, or Lucas Oil Raceway, August 29th there for the Xfinity Series. And then, of course, IndyCar this Friday night. I'll be bringing you the action there. August 26th, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So you've got all that action coming to you guys here on the Elite Racing Network for all your iRacing needs. It's going to be some fantastic racing that we have over the course of the season. Some new tracks, some new drivers, of course. It really does feel like there's kind of some fresh new tracks and ideas that are popping up here for a lot of these series. So I'm really looking forward to covering all of these and keeping track of all the championship battles. I think, again, the fields just continue getting stronger. We talk about it in Cup, but even in the trucks, which is meant to be a developmental series, I feel like that field continues to get stronger. Xfinity, I think, is probably one of the strongest fields, if not even stronger than Cup. I think could certainly be argued because you have most of your Cup drivers plus more. And of course, IndyCar is some fantastic racing as well that they put on there.
Yeah, one of the things I looked forward to about doing tonight was I didn't own this track, so I had to buy the track, of course, to broadcast it. So now, tomorrow, I'll be able to run Monza.
There you go. Get a chance to try it out. It is.
I will drive it horribly. I am a horrible
joy.
driver, so I do it in private, all by myself. Nobody can laugh at me.
I would advise picking a car that's got some pretty good mechanical or aerodynamic grip. I don't think you want to be driving one of these Cup cars around here. I think that seems like an absolute miserable existence. I think, again, one of my favorite things about Monza is taking something like a Formula One car, basically driving it up to the 100 or even 50 meter board and just basically seeing how late you can get on the brakes, because those cars are utterly ridiculous when it comes to their braking potential. It's not quite that way here in a Cup car. Like we saw on that onboard lap with David Tooker, you're pitting there between the 300 and the 200 sign. You're not really getting that much closer than that, and that is very, very far away from your first corner, 200 meters away from the first corner.
So we'll have one more lap around. I don't know if you want to take a break and get a drink or something, or...
Yeah, let's step away here for a quick break there. Were the lights out there on the pace car as it drove by? They are. They'll grid up, and we'll be back with you guys in just over a minute. All right, we are back, and it's Chad Frankenfield and Kwame Scott now leading this field back to the green, and hopefully we'll stay that way for the rest of these 42, to finish off these 42 laps here. And again, early jump from Chad Frankenfield. Kwame Scott caught a little bit off guard. That's going to give David Tooker an opportunity to look to the outside here, heading into turn number
Contact.
1. He does lose it a little bit under braking there. Contact with Kwame Scott. But they make it through cleanly. No, they don't. Kwame Scott is around.
Yep.
And we could have another issue here. Do we?
Gotta throw the yellow.
They're throwing the yellow, but that's a late yellow there. And unfortunately, I think it came out after everybody had already cleared the racetrack. Oh. So I mentioned it was a woody area here at Monza.
Kind of the same thing that happened to Thornquist just coming out of that second turn.
Yeah.
Then you can't go anywhere. You're just stuck.
Yeah, you guys have. I think you have guys who are just a little bit over eager there on the throttle pedal coming off of turn number 2. You're side by side with someone. You want to try and get that advantage coming off the corner, but we've seen now twice that it's done you more harm than good. Something happened a little bit further back with Wyatt Knadel. Did he just miss the corner? Oh.
I think I may have tagged him for how fast he stopped. So.
Yeah. Yeah, the yellows then back out. So since that fun, I think we got to get rid of this fun flag here. We were doing just fine before that came out.
Yep.
Kyle Walgren misses turn number 1 as well. Can he make? This is always the fun part.
Oh my!
That's a great view of that. Walgren trying to.
I think that's Rebelus who comes behind him.
Casually trying to take those as you should. If you miss the corner, you should try to this is the way to disadvantage you. Mark Rebelos says no thanks and goes straight on and into the wall there, I think, after getting tagged by the 36 as well. So that's interesting.
Frustration. Well, what are we going to get? About 3 more laps of caution then?
At least. Yeah, it could be a little while here, and yeah, with that, we're gonna listen in a little bit to the driver radio on our end. We will be back with you guys in just a moment, but we're gonna let you settle in here with the caution for a moment, and yeah. All right, we are back as we continue riding on board Chad Frankenfield under this third caution of the night. We're joined by our co-commentator from the Daytona 500 and driver tonight here in the 31 car, Gerald Campbell. Gerald, what's it been like down on the racetrack here? You flew into Monza, and it's been an interesting night so far.
It definitely has. We're actually coming down pit road. There's a little bit of a fuel strategy to keep in mind here. A lot of drivers may try to stretch it here and make it last from here all the way until the end. So we're going to see how this works out. I'm trying to get myself to try to give an idea if this is going to work or not, but we'll see. I got up to 15th, and the chaos is I got into the back of Scott Crump, and didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Scott, but relegated myself back here and trying to work our way back up to the front right now.
Yeah, well, I actually wanted to ask you a quick question about pit road there, as you were just on and off. What is that like versus kind of the standard tracks where you have all the pit boards, you have quite a bit of, obvious signs that let you find your pit stall? Is it a little bit harder here, or is it actually easier to find your pit stall here at Monza?
Well, it's a little harder because you can't see the lines more than anything. You still have for most drivers, like I do, have someone spotting just AI, the robotic spotter that's built into the system there. That counts you down when you get closer. So you're not going to really miss it, but you're not going to really know where you're going to line up exactly in the box. So it does make it a little difficult, especially with those drivers who are going to be racing up front, having to do a green flag pit stop where every little bit is going to cost you time on racetrack. So you're gonna have that a little bit of a nag in the back of your mind. Am I actually pitted in my pit stall? If not, that's just going to be a waste of time on waste of time in pits that you're going to have to try to make up on track again.
Dave?
Well, Gerald, that was pretty of a bold move there. I know you said you didn't mean to hit Scott Crump, but he had an issue right before that too. Did you have an issue with a lane change or something that kind of caused you to get it into him?
No, I was trying to save some fuel, and I had put it into neutral, and when they started checking up, I didn't have it in gear fast enough to slow down, and it made it look a lot worse than what it was. I thought we were good coasting at that speed going around the racetrack. I wasn't expecting people to start checking up in the middle of the turn like that, so I was relegating myself to just fuel saving and just riding around at that speed, not really focusing on it, especially right after that wreck. I was mainly just trying to take a breather after having to drive through 4 or 5 cars spun out on track, and just relieved about that I just kind of wasn't really paying attention like I should in front of me. So gotta make it up. They obviously gave me an EOL, which it is true. I ran into the back one, ruined his good run, so I think he was going to get an EOL anyhow for lane changes, but just got myself put back there, and now I have to play runner because I think he's going to be behind me. Maybe he wants to pay me back a little bit for that.
Well, the guy I do the truck series with would want me to stir up beef wherever I can, so that's what he taught me.
It's the way to do it. I mean, are you considered a broadcaster if you're not going to stir up beef?
That's right.
I mean, you got to do it for at least the viewers. If not, you're not doing your job correctly. Am I right?
That's right.
It's gonna be a good race if we can get past turn 1. I think
that's a big if.
Yeah. If we get past turn 1, let me finish my sentence here. If we get past turn 1, I think we'll be able to start getting this going. I think
it looks like you're pitting again.
Yeah, well, I mean,
topping off again.
Back here, you might as well top it off. If you pit now and you didn't pit the first time, you'll get an EOL penalty, and you'll have to go all the way to the back. You have to pit the previous lap to not get a penalty to pit the second time around. So it's iRacing rules.
An iRacing technicality.
Yeah, you got to know how to run the system. People that may not, that's comes with experience running this series and running iRacing for as long as I've been doing. But if we get past turn 1 here, I feel like we're going to definitely have some good racing going on. There's definitely points on track that have some good setups for passing. My favorite one is near the back stretch there where you go into those very fast S's. If you can be able to straighten that up coming out of those S's towards that long back straightaway to where you have that wide right-hand turn, that's a really good passing point that I've been trying to focus on. Other than that, it's been just who can outbrake who, and I feel like that's going to lead to maybe some tempers here before the night's over, more than that's already started. So definitely keep an eye on the braking points, and maybe the cleanest point into the track to make passes is coming out of those S's.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to hopefully getting some green flag running in here. As we had a car go off all the way in the back there. Hopefully that's no major issues. We're gonna let you go back to your racetrack there. Focus on the restart here, Gerald. We might bring you up though if we see some other cautions here later on in this race. But thanks for talking to us here.
Yeah, you can bring me up in the green. It's just I'll probably be a second slower on track, but you can bring me up in green if you find myself really relegated back there bored.
We'll keep an eye on you then and see if it becomes an option. Best of luck here on the restart, Gerald.
All righty, guys. Enjoy the race.
Yep. Put him back. There we go. Gerald Campbell there. Yeah, he's in the thick of it right now. Interesting strategy there with taking the fuel, and obviously with 23 to go here, you know, that's certainly a viable strategy. And I wonder on road courses, are we going to stick with the same thought process of we're seeing now 23 to go, or are we going to start asking, you know, who's your pick for the win?
I feel like we just got started. It's really hard to pick who.
Yeah. We've had, I think officially, we've now had more caution laps than we have had green flag laps in this race, which is something. But we'll get back to racing here, and maybe with 15 to go, we'll give ourselves some chance for green flag laps. And see what we can come up with then. How about that?
Fingers crossed. Here we go. Fingers crossed.
So off the final corner they come once again. Pace car is going to peel off to the right. And apparently they are struggling a little bit towards the back to get with the rest of this pack. But Chad Frankenfield underway once again, another good jump on the initial start. He needs to get that advantage though, because he's giving the draft to so many other cars behind him heading into turn number 1. This time by though, looks like everybody up front relatively straight into one. You don't really see too much side by side until you get to Rogers and Rucker.
One car wins.
Drivers missed the corner, and oh, there we go. Matthew Weeks around in the chicane, and we can see another yellow flag out in the racetrack here. Oh yeah, that's a caution if I've ever seen one.
Nope, they're working it out. No yellow.
Oh, no yellow.
Oh, now we have a caution.
I feel like we keep calling them just a little bit too late here. Alrighty. So we yeah, we'll take a look here. What happened to Matthew Weeks? Was it Matthew Weeks?
Yeah, he's the one that ends up
11?
around. So they kind of got him up there in the view.
Yeah, late on the brakes there in turn number 1, but seems to get it steady. Gonna get a lot of curb though heading into 1. Oh, and I think he's gonna get tagged. He's gonna absolutely get tagged. The 31. Who? No, sorry,
Gerald.
the 81.
Is that 31 or 81?
Was that
No, that was 81. That was an 81.
That was 81.
There's Gerald,
right.
31.
That was Alex Gray, I think. Yeah, Alex Gray and Scott Crump came together. Matthew Weeks, I think, seemed like the innocent bystander there, but 3 into 1 certainly doesn't work around this racetrack. And unfortunate that we're in the exact same situation that's brought out the last 3 cautions. Or, excuse me, the last 2 cautions. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
things were starting to work themselves out by the time they threw the yellow, but definitely he was stopped long enough that they should have had a yellow.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was enough of a track blockage. The problem is the yellow came out too late, and so we were just watching them clear up just as that yellow flag came out. So it almost felt like there's no benefit now for us having this caution, but there were kind of 2 blockages there as well. We saw that. I think that was Kwame Scott was the other car.
Or just heard a question: Does Monza have lights? Following Alex Gray here.
Asked right now. So
the contact starts with Crump out into Gray, and then he bounces off of him into Weeks, and then it's around.
Yeah, that's a tough position to be in for all the drivers. I think again, it's I can't put the blame on that to anybody because that's 3 drivers into one corner. You kind of think one of them is going to back out, and then none of them do, and you have an incident like that. It's very similar to there was an incident like that in Formula One this past season, or excuse me, yeah, in 2021 with 2 drivers, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, going into one, and it's tough to put it on either of those drivers, in my honest opinion, because it's 2 drivers into one, and there's always going to be a fight for position coming out of that corner. It is such a tight exit to the turn 1-2 complex, and we see this now affecting these drivers. It might be safe to say that Monza, at least the road course, might not be a staple of future Elite Cup Series calendars.
Try to give you some views, different views around the tracks as they're trying to kill this another caution here.
Wonder if you get cameras for the oval at all. I don't know if we can see that. If kind of give people a preview of what may be to come, but iRacing does separate them by track, so we might not get too many of those scenic views.
Yeah, I don't see too many of them here. Most of these are set to the Grand Prix circuit.
Unfortunate there's the drone there flying over. Yeah, very nice there. We'll follow that around the track. Might give us some unique views as we go, of course.
Duck when you get near the trees.
But there it goes. Just gives you an idea as to the scale of this circuit. It is it's a large circuit, kind of deceptively so as well, in terms of just how long it takes to really complete a lap around here. Obviously, we've been talking about a 1-minute 50-second lap, and at a track where your average speed is still very, very high. I wonder if I can actually see what that typically is around here. But yeah, I mean the Monza circuit is what is it, 3.6 miles long? Take a look here. Yeah, 3.6 miles, almost 6 kilometers long, with just 11 corners. And yeah, I mean, obviously you have the very slow corners, you have some of the very fast, and of course you have the very fast straightaways. With an F1 car, I mean, you're averaging actually only 159 miles an hour average lap speed, so quite a bit lower than I thought it was. We do have another driver that we're going to bring in and speak with you guys here. See where he is in the running order, just coming off pit road. It's going to be Robert Hill Jr. And we'll bring him in now here. Robert, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Robert, we've officially reached the point in this race where we've spent more laps under caution than we have under green. Talk us through your thoughts on how this has been playing out so far. I see you're going for that that top off of fuel to make it to the end now, which I'd assume you're able to do with that last pit stop. But yeah, I mean, what has this race been? What was it like, of course, before the fun flag, and what's it been like since then?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty fun track once you get going green. We just haven't been able to figure out turn 1. I think guys are just going in way too hard, and if they just back off and give a little bit more than they take into 1, we'd be able to get going green here and have a really good show. But I don't know, people just have no patience right now.
Robert, if you were going to measure in weight a ton of cautions, what kind of ton would that be?
Definitely a Chad ton.
A Chad ton? Yeah, that's what I was going
maybe
with.
Maybe even 2 Chad tons, because these cautions are very long. Like, you could play a few games of Monopoly under each of these cautions and still have time to spare.
That is, you've just described eternity as one game of Monopoly, so yeah, this is
this is definitely a long one.
It's definitely, yeah, the cautions are long. I think you guys are running 3 to 3.5 minute laps here under caution, so it's taking a good second to just get around this racetrack. But yeah, I mean, what has been the problem for guys? Obviously turn 1 we've seen, but is it just getting on power? Is it instability under braking, kind of all of the above? What's really been catching guys off kind of off guard here?
The thing is, it's hard enough as a single car going through turn 1, just because it is so tight. You got to drop all the way down to first gear to get through there, through the first 2 sets of turns. So people are trying to keep it going too wide through there when you really just can't. You have to back off and give it to the guy ahead of you, but people just think that you have to go right away, when really, if you just back off, give it to them, you're probably going to end up better off.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to go to single file restarts at any point in time, so we're going to just have to make this work, aren't we?
Yeah, it's just going to have to be people using their brain a little bit. I mean, there's no reason we should have this many yellows on a road course. We have some good road racers in this series, and they're really not showing it.
I think Rish brought up a good point that if we hadn't had the fun flag, we may have stayed caution-free the rest of the time, because then the field was spread out and we don't have that restart again.
Yeah, I mean, myself personally, at one point, I had 5 seconds either way, out front and out back, so I could just do my own thing, and there was quite a bit of that. It's a big track, so there's definitely lots of room for people to just cruise around and do their own thing. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we have to reconsider the fun flag for next season.
Would be the anti-fun flag in this.
Yeah,
Certainly
definitely.
has been so far tonight. I mean, I guess plan moving forward, obviously you're hoping down in 30th right now, hoping we get some green flag laps where you can take advantage of the strategy move. You know, do you feel confident in the car you have underneath you and what you've been able to find here at Monza to move up that order, or how comfortable have you been feeling, you know, versus some of the guys around you?
Yeah, I actually really like this track. I mean, I was really late getting here today. My first lap on this track was lap 1 of the race. So that first run was just really getting used to it. And about every lap, I was cutting a second off. So I felt like I was picking up the pace where I needed to, and I might have had a good run. But, I mean, at this point, I think my goal is a top 25, just salvage some points and move on to next week.
Well, best of luck with that, and hopefully we, for your sake and for ours up here in the booth, we hope you get some green flag running in there. We're gonna let you you head back, because it looks like you're starting to double file up here, and we might be getting back to our next attempt at a green flag here. So gonna give you a chance to settle in and focus on that one.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of this one. Hopefully we have no more yellows.
All right, Robert Hill Jr. there, right now running P30, looking to move forward in this race. Keep an eye on him. Robert, thanks for joining us. All right, 4th caution almost coming to a close here. Chad Frankenfield, David Tooker, Zach Rogers, Johnny Thomas, Scott Crump. Thomas and Crump both up a number of positions. Thomas up 27, Scott Crump up 37 positions from their grid spots. Shane Terrian as well, one of those big movers. You certainly look at David Tooker in the 19 car as one of those guys to look out for. The 50 of RC Enerson down at the back end of this lead pack. Looks like he came down pit road this most recent lap here to refuel, grab some fresh tires to make it to the end here. As one would imagine that Chad Frankenfield, if they do go green, won't be able to. Same with David Tooker. Frankenfield pitted last on lap 6, Tooker last on lap number 10. But we'll see. And here at a road course, do we still get green-white checkers? Are those a thing here?
I don't know that they've considered that, have they? I mean, that's I mean, you're talking an extra 2 minutes per lap, so yeah, that's a green-white checkered extension is kind of tough.
It certainly is, and I unfortunately don't see that on the details of the rules for tonight's race.
I mean, that would drastically change some of the fuel strategy if you have to go full green-white checkered an additional 3 laps.
It really would. Again, we're talking about a 3.6-mile racetrack here, so something to keep in mind here, especially with how things have played out so far. But I think if we can get everybody past turn number 1, we'll be in a good spot. And so we're going to try here once again here. Chad Frankenfield, David Tooker leading the field back to the green. Zach Rogers on the inside and nice and single filed further forward. We have a couple of guys too wide there, Scott Crump and Johnny Thomas. We'll see if they can sort themselves out. And I think Robert Hill Jr. there brought up a very good point, as guys just need to learn to yield at least here in this first lap, in this first corner, before you know, any further difficulties arise. And it seems like this time
so far
by,
good. So good.
guys seem to have done it. And a cheer comes out from the drivers.
Celebration ensues.
Oh my gosh. And so here we go. The race is on up front. It's going to be David Tooker and Chad Frankenfield. There's a little bit of chaos further back, but as long as there's no track blockage, we're going to stay green now. The reason we were going caution so often was because it was just blocking guys coming out of turn number 1 and 2. If guys go off track now, like we saw in the opening part of this race, there's really no need for a caution there, as they can just rejoin on their own, and 1 to 2 car incidents really aren't a massive deal here that we pay attention to. So here we go. Frankenfield and Tooker. If anything, this was probably the last thing that either of these guys wanted, because they were the lowest on fuel.
Got a Hank Steinmuller with a off back there. We'll check in just to see what he's up to.
Steinmiller, I think, went straight in turn number 1.
Yeah.
There he is. Yep. See if he's able to avoid. Nope, he doesn't.
He really
go
went
through
straight.
the mandatory. Man, did nobody get? I wonder if they get a penalty for not going through the mandatory left-right, because I feel like that's. I don't know if iRacing's advanced enough for that, but oh well. Back up front then, battle for the lead continues to heat up. Less than half a second between our leader, Chad Frankenfield, and David Tooker. And don't count out Zach Rogers as well. He's within a second of David Tooker there. And he could have an opportunity to pounce if things go a little bit crazy for those two leaders. Could the rookie make something happen today? As you see there, the rookie stripes on the back of that 12 car. But the eyes really are on Chad Frankenfield and David Tooker. What can they pull off? Can Tooker make a move? Can Frankenfield defend successfully for the next 17 laps? And we're looming closer to that 15 lap point, and I will be asking you, Dave, and it is your turn to go first.
Okay.
At lap 15 to go, who your pick is going to be. So start thinking about that. You've got about 4 minutes until we get there. but worthwhile to consider here. Hopefully we're green at that point as well.
I had a name in mind, but he's dropped down to 15th now, so I'm going to recalibrate my guess.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty.
Daniel Martinez with a little bit of an issue. Oh, that's Hank Steinmiller cooking it in there. Got into the back of Martinez.
Just gets blindsided. Yeah.
And he's just got to wait it out.
Yeah, that's the painful part of it. But the right move there from the 33 car. Don't move that car around on the racetrack. Don't
Last thing we need is another yellow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here's hoping he can get over that bump just fine. He does. A little bit onto the gravel, but back underway. Obviously going to really hurt Daniel Martinez's race here today, but could have been worse if he had, again, started rolling and caused issues for another driver. David Tooker with a run, looks to the inside in turn number 1. Is he going to be able to outbrake Chad Frankenfield? He's there at the quarter panel. He's later on the brakes. Frankenfield holds on the outside. Tooker almost makes a move, but Frankenfield holds on for now. I wonder if Tooker is going to get a better run, though, coming off of turn number 2 through the Curva Grande. And it's going to be all about how much throttle can you hold around here, how much speed can you carry here, or how much do you dare. But it looks like not quite for the 19 car, but he looks a little bit stronger on the brakes there than the 15. We'll see if he can force either that 15 into a mistake or take one of those late moves and grab this. Here they go through Lesmo 1 and 2. David Tooker using all the track he's got. Now here they come down the back straightaway, side by side. David Tooker with a run off of Lesmo number 2 into the Ascari chicane. Will he make a move around the outside into Ascari? That's going to be a bold one. Let's see if he decides better. It looks like he will, but he might try for an over-under here, at least try to just get a little bit of a better run here onto the back straightaway. Remember, Gerald Campbell was talking about that. He likes that move where if you get the good run out of Ascari into Parabolica, you can line up the leader for an overtake, and here he goes, peeking out to the inside, David Tooker. There's going to be a braking here into Parabolica, late on the brakes for the 19, and he's ahead for now, but Chad Frankenfield with the wider line outside. Can he get by? Not quite. David Tooker, the shorter line, wins it out here for now, and here we go. We've got another drag race down at turn number 1.
Tooker's rotors were glowing coming through that last corner.
Oh my gosh, fantastic. A move there and set up by David Tooker. You could see he looked quicker than Frankenfield for a good chunk there, and now he does stay in front of the 15, doesn't give the chance for Chad to get to the inside of turn number 2, and it's clear for David Tooker. And with him now taking over the lead here, I'm giving you maybe the easiest pick ever. Who do you think is going to win this Italian stock car challenge here, Dave?
I've got going with the easy pick. I think Tooker and Chad may have contact as we get closer down, so I'm going to take Zach Rogers for the rookie for the win.
All right, I like that. Zach Rogers, can he hang on for something? I mean, you left it on the table for me. I feel like I got to take Tooker, especially with R.C. Anderson now down the order. He's in 12th position. He's moving forward. He's moving quickly, but I don't know if there's enough time for R.C. to close that 14-second gap that he has to the leader, David Tooker. That's going to be a big ask for the driver of the number 50 car without another caution. It really has been the Tooker and RC show so far today, and I think now that Tooker's clear of the 15, he's going to check out on the rest of this field.
You kind of keep an eye on the gap. We'll go back and catch up some of our offs back here. Ryan Schul with an issue. Ooh, too much speed into that. Going to carry it and whip it around. Daniel Martinez with another off. Again, they're just carrying a little bit too much speed into those corners and just kind of pushes it out. Cody Harrington.
And that's a deceptive chicane as well as Harrington maybe with some more internet issues.
Check Trevor Elam here. Same thing.
Much, yeah. And again, it's a deceptive corner because if you look at it on the track map, that's not what you really want to do there if you're Trevor Elam. That's gonna if you made contact with a driver, you've got the stewards there. They're gonna go down on you for that one. That's not the move you want to be making. But yeah, it's a deceptive corner because it's actually it's not a exact 90-degree kind of chicane. It's actually a little bit more open than that. So you think, okay, it's an open chicane, versus kind of the very closed one you see in turn 1. You think you can carry so much more speed through it, but because you have those, those very high curbs, you have those speed bumps there, it makes it very difficult to actually slow down and carry speed. And sometimes, obviously, turn 1's very slow, but that turn 2 is almost as slow sometimes, especially in a car like this where you really have to let it settle before you can kind of set up the turn. You're not really able to work with the car while it's loaded. As here we see David Tooker, and now through Ascari, the fastest of the 3 chicanes at Monza, as he goes all the way out wide there off of Ascari to get as much of a run as possible. But he's already gapped 3/4 of a second back to Chad Frankenfield here. Zach Rogers looking feisty with Frankenfield, but also he sits about 0.7 of a second behind the 15, and these top 3 have all completely checked out from the 01 of Ryan Gavel in the 4th position, 4 seconds back from Zach Rogers.
Yeah, the next thing we'll have to look at is how the fuel strategy plays itself out. Tooker and Chad both stopped at lap 10 and lap 6. Chad way less fuel than everybody else. Zach Rogers is also with the same strategy as Tooker, but then you go back to Ryan Gavel, who's sitting farther back, but stopped on lap 19 and should be maybe good to the end. There's a few more that came in and topped off at lap 22.
Yeah, the only question I guess now is, for Tooker, and I think Chad's probably not in the clear Tooker is an interesting one because potentially, you know, he came down pit road and didn't really complete a green flag lap or spend much time on throttle at all. How much fuel was he able to save during those consecutive cautions? Chad Frankenfield, we know, has at least 4 racing laps of fuel burn on his car. David Tooker could have, I mean, at least heading into this run, could have had maybe less than 1, maybe less than 2, depending on how effectively he was able to fuel save. So that's another thing that you've certainly got to consider in terms of, you know, where these guys actually able to, you know, are they able to make it to the end, or how late do they have to pit? I think the 15 will definitely have to pit in my eyes. The 19 is a probably, and the 01 of Gavel is a probably not.
Taking a peek back through the field here, Tyler Fodey working on the 7th place car of Hunter Smith.
Yeah, I was going to say so it's probably a safe bet that Tyler Fodey's not going to go for 3 in a row, but with 13 to go at how long of a track this is and the cautions and incidents we've seen, it really isn't a guarantee of anything at this point. So keep an eye on this 40 car, but I mean, he even mentioned, I think, where he's, you know, he knows he's generally there around the top 5 in terms of drivers here at a road course. And I think he was in terms of pace. He got caught up in one of those cautions earlier as, ooh, car goes long. Who was that? That was David Tooker.
That was Tooker.
What's going to happen here for David Tooker? Is he just going to miss the braking point? Smart man. He could tell he wasn't going to make that corner, just decides to skip it, and he knows how you take the runoff at Monza. Thank you, David Tooker, for doing it properly. It is going to hurt you, obviously, but thank you. Appreciate that.
Drops him back in
but it
5th.
does put him, yeah, six seconds back. And yeah, Zach Rogers becomes a very popular or likable pick here at this position. Chad Frankenfield, of course, still a second ahead of that 12 car. Frankenfield now kind of looking the best in terms of track position, but I'd still imagine that Frankenfield has to pit. Zach Rogers as well. Could this all be falling into Ryan Gavel's hands?
Great
How
battle
about
here
Kwame
for 6,
Scott?
7, 8.
Yeah, could Kwame Scott be the first driver or the first rookie to take that win? But a little bit further back, you have Scott Crump, Hunter Smith, Tyler Fodey. Those are the drivers here on your screen, as Fodey's trying to make a move on Smith and Crump. And he can see David Tooker in his eyesight as well. So he's going to be looking to maybe hang on to that 19 car, try and move forward with him. But first he has to get by the 17 car of Hunter Smith. He's going to look to the inside into the Parabolica. Laid on the brakes. We saw the same move here from David Tooker. It should work the same for Tyler Fodey. Just that tight exit will give you a little bit less mile per hour off the corner. But it's going to be tough for Smith now to retaliate. Good run off the corner as well from Tyler Fodey.
Doesn't look like he's going to try to get under Crump here. He's just going to kind of fall back in line. That's got to be scary when you're trying to follow a car that's blinking.
Yeah, especially through a heavy braking zone and a notorious problem area for these drivers here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's got to be unnerving there. As Fodey, could he be looking for a move here in the chicane? You don't often see moves being made over here, at least not today.
Nice.
But a fantastic move, beautifully done. And Tyler Fodey's up into 6th in the span of just a lap. Now he sets his eyes on David Tooker to enter the top 5. Tooker struggling right now. Obviously had the off on the previous lap. That cost him about 8 seconds to the leader. The real question though is, you know, is there some other issue with that car, or is there some maybe you know, hiddenness from the driver of the 19 car? Is he a little bit careful right now, worried that he might outbrake himself again, lose more positions? But he needs to start pushing maybe just a little bit here to close that gap, because it is 8.5 seconds to Chad Frankenfield up in front. And that 15 car is starting to look a little bit stronger without the pressure of the 19 behind him either.
Keeping an eye on Chad to see if he's going to need to come in. David Tooker's coming in now.
Ooh. So either damage to the 19 car or this is a scheduled stop for fuel. Meanwhile, the battle is on for the lead here. Ryan Gavel, Zach Rogers, Chad Frankenfield all going at it. And Gavel looking close as ever to Rogers. Remember, of these three drivers, Gavel is the only one that we are probably 90 to 95% certain can make it to the end here. The certainty goes down pretty significantly as you go to Rogers and to Frankenfield. So could Gavel be in the perfect position here? Worth just waiting, letting these guys go through and take their pit stops here under green. Or does Gavel want to grab it here on the racetrack? Try and make the move. He's been looking very fast. He's been a very fast car. Hung on to the lead for a good chunk of time. Actually dropped back off this lead group early on in this run and has since kind of recaught up to them. I think this gap was as much as 4 seconds, just a little bit after the restart. And then Gavel's been really putting away the lap times. That last lap, 2 seconds faster than both Rogers and Frankenfield. So those fresh tires, especially, I think, for Gavel, making a big difference right now on these other guys.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a cushion back to Kwame Scott, so he doesn't have to push it too hard. Looks like he's going to take Rogers, though.
He certainly is. Yeah, he's going to take Rogers, and again, for anybody watching at home, Ryan Gavel still unsponsored for this season, as you see the chalkboard paint scheme that he's running here, and it certainly is easy to spot there. And
Zach Rogers in.
It's recognizable. But yeah, Zach Rogers comes down pit road, so he makes that call with 9 to go. Chad Frankenfield staying out another lap. Does he have enough fuel? Can't imagine Chad does, especially with Tooker and Rogers both coming down pit road here. Is it fuel only for Rogers? It looks like it. It is.
Like he might cycle back out in maybe right around 15th.
Ooh, yep. And you see a little bit of a crazy group of cars there fighting it out for a position. And here we go, up front. Gavel, ooh, a lot of curb there. But he stays pointed in the right direction. He chases down Chad Frankenfield, now within 0.6 of a second of the 15 car. Seems like that 01 with those tires, with that, that positivity that he's going to have enough fuel to go to the end, or that thought that he probably does, again, able to push just that little bit harder than the 15. When's he going to be able to make the move? He's so far been very effective on this back straightaway after the Ascari chicane. We'll see if he's able to set up the 15 here. Gets a good run through the first apex, a little bit tight on that second apex, but either way, still faster than the 15 car of Chad Frankenfield coming off the corner, and now it's his decision. He decides to go to the outside, Frankenfield to defend, and I don't think Gavel's close enough this time by. He's again going to try and peek, try to force Chad into taking a less than preferred line, but for now, it is still Frankenfield in front of Gavel. Could Frankenfield be peeling off into pit road, though? He stays out for another lap, and Gavel's going to try for another run down into turn number 1 then.
Chad was letting him know he's not going to fight him too hard for the spot, but when Chad fights less than too hard, it's still pretty good fight for most people, so I don't think he's just going to let him by.
For sure, no. I know he certainly won't. Again, the question is, does Chad Frankenfield have to pit?
Yeah, he was telling him
staggered.
He was telling him he does have to pit. That's why he wasn't going to fight him too hard.
Okay.
So that would probably, if I'm Ryan Gavel, I don't even bother passing him. Putting yourself next to the 15 car can sometimes end the night.
Could cause issues, but Gavel's still going for it. Staying aggressive as they continue to gap Kwame Scott in 3rd position. 2 seconds back to the driver of the 95. As R.C. Enerson is back in the top 5. We mentioned how his race had been looking. And how quick he was looking. but is still 10 seconds behind our soon-to-be effective race leader Ryan Gavel, as I think Frankenfield made that call that he's coming down pit road this time by.
Yeah, Gavel kind of backed off of him a little bit, so he's just going to let him go.
All right, so with that, then Chad Frankenfield will be, in theory, the last driver to pit here. Gavel will take over the lead. Kwame Scott in second. Tyler Fodey then becomes your third place driver. As there goes Chad. Wonder with the way he ran, if he's going to go fuel only, or if he's thinking of grabbing some tires here as well.
Yeah, because he's on a set he's had on for quite a while. Well, he missed his pit box.
Misses his pit box, yeah. And looks like it's fuel only for the 15 car. How about that?
So maybe around 14 or 15 by the time he cycles out here. There's a pack of them coming.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh boy,
He
that's
missed the turn.
Yep. He's got to give that position up to Matthew Weeks. Surely he does. I would imagine that he's going to give that back.
That's what Matthew's asking him.
Yeah, that would. I'd be shocked if that was an allowable pass. Honestly, I don't know if it's just on Matthew Weeks or if he even has to go to the back of this pack.
Now he's pulling off.
There we go. There we go.
All right, let's go back up front.
Stewart's deciding just Matthew Weeks, which I think seemed to be right. We caught just the tail end of that, but yeah. Ryan Gavel. Ooh, got to be careful there. He's right there on the quarter panel of the 3 car. Has to be very careful there. Still 9 seconds ahead of Tyler Fodey. 9.5 ahead of RC Anderson with 6 laps to go here tonight. Tyler Fodey then defending from RC into turn number 1. Kwame Scott, Hunter Smith also in the picture. Both trying to put together good runs here, and they have done. Both running inside the top 5 tonight. Gerald Campbell, who we talked to earlier tonight, up into the 6th position. He's had a good run, as has Jesse Razimus in the 7th spot. Before you get back to that kind of coral we saw for the 8th position. Matthew Weeks over Frankenfield, Stafford, Rogers, Lathan Joyner, all of those guys within this one group of cars. Tyler Fodey and RC Anderson get ever closer. Off of Lesmo 2, a little bit of gravel picked up by RC, but he has a really good run here heading into Ascari. Is he going to be able to peek out and make a move? He thinks about it, he does, but decides better of it. He was going to try and get that run done. Get it all set up through Ascari, line up perfectly, ride that right-hand curve, straighten yourself out, and he has a run on the 40 car. Just a little bit of one. But if he can use the draft, maybe he can outbrake him heading into Parabolica. Not quite there, though. Oh, that's going to be... Jeez, that is a terrifying sight there if you're hard on the brakes. Whew. And still RC able to stay right on the bumper of the 40 car.
That was almost a rolling pick there.
Yeah, that one would have been... that would have been an unfortunate incident there. Impossible to see the 3 car as well from the perspective of the 50. Is late on the brakes again. He's right there on the 40 of Tyler Fodey. Fodey able to just get reasonable to good exits off of these corners and makes it all that much harder for this 50 of RC Anderson. They go then, coming out of the second chicane. We have a little bit of smoke there further back, but looks like there's no major issues. We're gonna keep on rolling up front for this battle for second. There's a slow car on the side of the racetrack. Kyle Walgren, I believe.
And the
Possibly.
21. Justin Vandermaal.
21 there.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
Vandermaal
that's-
and Warren and Walgren may have had an incident. Here's the 21.
There
He
you
was
go.
around.
Very slow rejoining back onto the racetrack.
And we had one with Kyle Walgren.
Ooh. Just losing the front end there. And then the rear. And then around you go. But battle for second place taking place live on the racetrack right now down this front straightaway. RC had a look in the Parabolica, and now here they are side by side heading to turn number one. You've got to imagine its advantage. RC Anderson, he has the inside line. He has arguably the faster car right now. Gonna take turn one there. Does it become the inside for Fodey? Nope, he decides better of that. And RC Anderson into the second position now. 8 seconds to Ryan Gavel up in front. 4 laps to go though, I'd imagine. Without
on a
a
cruise
major
now.
mistake there from Gavel, it should be in a good position for him to not be under too much pressure from RC Anderson. Gavel just needs to be careful here. We saw it with David Tooker. We saw it with RC as well when he was leading early on, where you can be out in front around no other cars and be susceptible to that mistake, as he just saw there a little bit further behind. Car into the gravel. That was Dustin Dewer. So here we go. What's it gonna look like for RC? Can he close a 7-second gap in less than 4 laps? One would imagine that would be a little bit too much, despite how good RC has been and continues to be at these road courses. But back up to second for the driver who restarted 15th on that most recent restart.
RC was getting as much draft off as he could off of Dustin Dewer before he had to go around him.
Yeah, trying to nab every bit of advantage as you can. We'll see if, again, 7.6. It's stabilized right now. But
Fastest
RC does
lap of
put
the
in the
race.
best lap. Yeah, best lap of the race there. But Gavel put in a lap that was certainly no slouch, 0.2 just slower than RC Anderson's. And that was still an absurdly quick lap there. Very few drivers have touched the 49s tonight. In fact, I think it's just the two, RC Anderson and Ryan Gavel. Gavel nice and clean with his lines right now. Ooh, as I say that, a little bit loose there coming off of Lesmo number 2. And into Ascari again. There's no need to push. You can afford to lose lap time here to RC Anderson with 2 to go and a 6.5 second buffer. RC's certainly eating into it, but at a rate that is likely to not be an issue. There you see RC Anderson, there's the gap. So he can see Ryan Gavel down these long straightaways, but to close that gap is a whole other question.
I look down through the field and find a little pack here running. Ryan Schold, Lathan Joyner.
Good little group of cars there.
Bronson Stafford.
11. Bronson Stafford. This is all just outside that top 10 as they chase down Zach Rogers. Rogers had an issue that we missed, I think, that knocked him out of that top 3 group. He was originally kind of the guy right behind Gavel. But unfortunately for him, we have a car around. And it's the 61 of Stafford.
Yeah, he went all around off the nose of Ryan Schuld as he was trying to get underneath him.
So yeah, that's again, guys still continuing to struggle with the track or just having issues, but we don't bring out the caution for those, and I think we're fortunate for that. So let's see here as we watch Latham Joyner.
Yeah, I think Latham was actually able to get by both of them as they went around. Oh, we got Alex Gray off. See what happened to him.
A little bit wide there, off Lesmo number 1. Gonna go side by side with the 16 and just misses the apex there because of it. Round he goes. Ooh, right in front of our, was that our leader? I think I was right in front of the leader too.
Yeah.
Or sorry, no, sorry,
Was
that was
that,
in front of the chasing RC Anderson.
Yeah, we can go back.
Was that?
Look at that.
Who was that? That was RC, I think, just behind them. Yeah. So the guy chasing the leader, and here's what he saw as he sees 2 lap cars in front of him. One misses a corner. Round they go, and that's about as near of a miss as it gets.
White flag.
Here we go. Ryan Gavel, what a race he's put on today. Oh. Just using a little bit of racetrack there scared me heading into 1, but yeah, I mean, he's had a great run today. Of course, there's you know, qualified well, has been running strong, capitalized on strategy there, and when David Tooker, Chad Frankenfield in front had to pit, and there's certainly no argument, or there is an argument to be made that he could have passed both of those guys on track as well with relative ease. Ryan Gavel stepping up to the plate here. RC Anderson doing everything he can to chase him down, but with a 6-second gap here on the last lap, it's only going to take a major mistake from the drive of the 01 car to really put RC in contention here.
Yeah, if I'm Gavel, I don't go anywhere near Rebelus. Just kind of stay behind him.
Yeah, Gavel can really afford to give up any of that time there, as you saw
the car off when there was Goodman.
Yeah.
That was right in front of the leader as well.
Yikes. Yep, there he goes.
Oh,
Michael Goodman.
Heavy hit.
Bad day goes worse. But either way, for Ryan Gavel, on the back straightaway, following the 99 car of Mark Rebelas, he is going to go for the move into
I advised against that.
That's a risky move there, but he's going to stick with it. And coming off of the final corner there, checkered flag waves for Ryan Gavel. He's flown out to Monza, and he's going to win the first European event we've ever had in the Joint APS Cup Series here at the Italian Stock Car Challenge. RC Anderson put on a great chase towards the end of that race, but he's going to come home P2, 5.5 seconds behind, and Tyler Fodey, the win streak ends, but the podium streak continues there. Tyler Fodey going to finish 3rd place here at Monza. Certainly has to be happy with that result. He'll still extend his championship lead. But Ryan Gavel, what a finish he gets as Hunter Smith and Kwame Scott, it looks like, round out that top 5 group of cars.
Gavel's reporting he had 0.7 gallons left when he crossed the line. That last caution won the race for him.
Yeah, that's about as close as it can get. Man, because it starts to sputter a little bit when you get close there too. So, yeah, how about that Kwame Scott P5? He made a late move, I think, on Gerald Campbell as well to grab that position. Because here we see, there, I think that is Campbell in 31. Ooh, Chad Frankenfield. Bad day goes worse. Not too sure as there's the damaged 15 car. He's going to at least cross the line there. Grab a 12th place finish. Is he going to defend there? He is, yep. But there you go. Ryan Gavel, your race winner. R.C. Anderson, Tyler Fodey. We'll look at our final standings here at Monza. What a race this was. It was a number of cautions there in the middle, sandwiched by a couple of green flag runs that we had there early on. But there you go, Ryan Gavel by 5.6 seconds. R.C. Anderson put in a fantastic run to try and chase down Gavel. In those final couple of laps, R.C. was averaging around a 49.8 second lap time. It was ridiculous pace that he was running, but unfortunately just wasn't quite enough. We'll wait to see if we can hear from the drivers in our top 3 finishing positions. Gonna wait to see them, but Ryan Gavel in the meantime is gonna burn it down there in the Parabolica to celebrate. And enjoy that win. It's been a little while for Ryan Gavel as well. Last time he won a race, man, it's probably been a few seasons here. I'm gonna have to certainly consult the record books to figure that one out.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for this interview. I worked with Ryan as a fellow ERN member, but I haven't heard his voice in a year. So he doesn't normally speak on the broadcast. So
yeah, this could be a little while back here. It's been over a year for sure. Let's see if we go back to 21A. If Gavel grabbed any wins there. No, he did not. So we might go back to 20B. And I think that would have been the season that he did break through. Yes, he did. And Ryan Gavel, a guy who's very familiar with the road courses that we run at. And I remember, and I think this 20B season was his rookie season. He was impressive on basically all tracks, but very impressive on the road courses. Won his first race at which road course was that? That was at the Roval, the Charlotte Roval, and then lost just barely to Anders Krohn at Road America in the chase later that season. So Ryan Gavel, a very accomplished road racer, but does it again here today, as we'll wait to see and hear. And here he is. We'll bring in our race winner for tonight then, and it's been, we just checked the record books. The last time you were in victory lane there was in the 2020B season. Been 2 years, Ryan Gavel. Welcome back to victory lane, man, and what a drive you put on tonight for us here in Monza.
Yeah, no, it feels good to be back. Yeah, it was the Charlotte Roval 2 years ago, 2020B. That was my only other win. That was a good race too, but this one felt real good. Working with Lake Norman Motorsports, pulling that strategy together where we topped off on fuel on the second to last caution, and that's what got us to the end. Had half a lap of extra gas in the tank, enough to do burnouts barely, but yeah, it feels good to be back in victory lane. I knew I had a shot. I think RC had me on speed, but we got him on the strategy, and that's what it can come down to on these road course races. But yeah, glad I'm back.
yeah, Ryan, I was excited to hear your voice. I said I haven't heard you speak in the last year since you've been the ERN team, but you don't normally talk. So I was glad to be able to interview you. But talk a little bit about your livery. I love it. It's great design, and I know it's your own. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a joke on the fact that I'm horrible at making paint schemes, and my Photoshop skills are zero. So, you know, I kind of decided last second to even run this season, and instead of asking someone to make a paint scheme for me, I thought I'd throw one together for myself. So put together a paint scheme for myself, a little homage to, I'm pretty sure it's Ryan Truex who has the little Go Ryan joke. So kind of came as an inspiration from that, and threw together the old Go Ryan number 01. Yeah, it's pretty. I tried it out in the Super Late Model series and copied it over to this car. So yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly an iconic look there, and it makes you easy to spot out on the racetrack. Hopefully, obviously, the win tonight attracts maybe some sponsors to come on board here and help out for future races.
Yeah, right. There's obviously none on the hood right now. Just got to thank obviously the league, everyone for adminning tonight. It's hard putting together these road course races, Chad and everybody, and got to thank you guys at Elite Racing Network. Yeah, got to thank Lake Norman Motorsports, Tyler Fodey, Hank Steinmiller tonight. Hank had a good run. Fodey wound up third. You'll be talking to him in a second. Yeah, great fun race.
All right. Well, Ryan Gavel, congratulations again. A fantastic race there, back in victory lane once again. It honestly, I'm shocked it was as long as it was, because it doesn't feel like you had left. So, welcome back, man. Congratulations on that, and we're hoping to see more of you in the coming races.
Yeah, thank you guys. Hopefully I wind up back in here at the Roval, or maybe sooner than that would be nice.
Absolutely. So Ryan Gavel, winner here at the Italian Stock Car Challenge 2022 B season. Congratulations again, man. All right, we'll then bring in our second place finisher, and he put down some incredible laps there as he was chasing towards the end of that race, but just ran out of laps. R.C. Enerson, hectic race for sure. Looked like pace-wise he kind of had guys' numbers, but the strategy maybe fell apart with all those cautions in the middle there.
Yeah, quite honestly, I'm not really sure what happened in that race. It was the first 10 laps seemed pretty plain and simple. We made it to turn 1, which I was not expecting at all. And then we just kind of made it to the fun flag. I thought me and Tooker would just kind of hang out up front. I wasn't really expecting anybody to short pit. Both the Chads, they short pitted. So the restart was a bit interesting, and I was just trying to kind of hang back, and I almost missed him. I mean, I just got a little bit of contact with him while he was spinning. Thought I was fine. I had the teammates check, see if it was fine. They drove up next to me, see if what they could see. It looked fine. But the second one was the big one. When Kwame did the big Yui there, I got a pretty big hit. And it still didn't seem too bad. I mean, the handling was fine, but we went for the restart, and I just had 0 straight line speed at all. I was like, this. I thought it was going to be real bad for me, but thankfully the yellow came out again, which I think we all kind of anticipated. A lot of yellows at Monza, especially with how many cars we have, and just it ends up anywhere past 10th position, being like a parking lot trying to get through turn 1 and 2. And we ended up pitting, decided to pit, and got like a minute worth of repairs, and went back out, and I had all my straight line speed back. So it was just a fight from the back.
Well, RC, you do always a great interview. You always get through everything, so don't leave us very many questions. But go ahead and give your shout outs for tonight for all your sponsors and your team.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I really wish I could have caught Ryan Gavel. I was trying. I was hoping that he was going to be so light on fuel he had to have to clutch and coast to the finish. So I was just trying. I was throwing down a lot of really good laps that I didn't even think I could put down. But I just I'd like to thank Rayco Machine Engineering Group. They've run on all my cars for this entire season, all the elite leagues, and of course you guys up here in the booth. You guys do a fantastic job. I always go back and watch these replays. And it's really cool to watch and see all the commentary. That's really professional. And obviously Chad, he runs the league. He does an amazing job with the amount of people that are in this and the amount of information he gets flowing towards him to run a league this clean and this efficient with the amount of series they got is just incredible. Yeah, I think I got everybody.
All right, man. Well, it's still an incredible run there, and it's been close to 2 weeks in a row now in terms of the win for the Cup Series. So it certainly seems like it's coming up relatively soon for you. So best of luck moving forward, and hopefully we're talking to you some more later this season. Yeah,
thanks, guys. I mean, 2 second places on a road course for me feels a bit disappointing, but on this one, given the circumstances, I'm okay with the second. Monday night was a little bit bitter. But definitely 2 second places. That's not a bad finish, and I think we got a good start, even though we missed the Daytona 500. And I know I'm an open car, so I'll be qualifying my way in for most of these. But it should be a good run, and I hope everybody stays tuned.
All right, R.C. Anderson, P2 finisher here tonight. Congratulations again on the finish, man, and the great run towards the end.
Yeah, thank you guys a lot.
All right, that's our third place finisher, and well, in his worst finish of the season so far, third place finisher Tyler Fodey. Tyler, you must be gutted. I mean, this is so below your standards for the 2022 B season. How are you going to move on from this?
Yeah, very tough. Very tough. Dude, I can't believe it, honestly. I mean, y'all saw it between the wrecks and just the strategy and the fuel. We had it all tonight. And I got to give props to Gavel because he was the one with making the strategy calls. So I was kind of on the same plan with him. And we both spun out at one point. We both went to the back, and we both came back up through the field. So to have this happen and to have Gavel get his first win for the team and keep the streak going for this season, at least 3 for 3 now, is awesome.
Dave?
Oh, sorry. I always forget. I'm still not used to this stuff. So I'm used to you just listening to the announcers ask the questions, and I start to get focused on other things. So sorry about that, Tyler. Talk a little bit about the rest of the season. What you're looking forward to, some of the tracks as we go. Get course coming in third behind RC on a road course, and you're good on a road course. But as we look forward, what's the next track you really got your eye on?
Next week, dude. It's like the second biggest race of the year for me personally, Southern 500. Love that race. And honestly, the Brickyard 400. The Crown Jewels, the full distance stuff in Cup specifically, I've always been a fan of. So definitely got next week circled. Pulling up the schedule right now, actually. I know there's a couple other pretty solid races coming up, but I mean, we're just looking to keep the momentum going, try and win them all if we can, keep at least the podium streak alive, keep talking to y'all every week. That'd be ideal.
I'm gonna have to start writing down some questions so I have something to ask, and then I'll have to share them to Rish beforehand so he doesn't steal them from me. So I'll get better prepared. I promise. I'll improve.
I'm gonna steal the good ones. That's why I always ask first. I get the big ones out of the way. But we got the obvious one. We caught you off with this one, Tyler. Want to give you a chance to make some shout outs on the air. You didn't automatically do that.
Yeah. Well, the team, obviously, Lake Norman Motorsports again, coming through. Super happy for Gavel. It's pretty awesome, especially to take down RC and Tooker, albeit with some things that had to happen. But it's always cool to beat one of them on a road course. And Hank, I got to shout out Hank, came from dead last and got 14th. And he was also in some incidents. I mean, it was a up and down day for all of us, and we all ended up on the right side of things. So shout out to them. Shout out to you guys, obviously, for being up here in the booth every week. Big shout out to Blue Egg Marketing and also KNP Graphics for doing all the paint schemes. So we'll look forward to next week and hopefully be back up here.
I do have one question, Tyler. So did Chris start the race?
Yeah, Chris did start the race, but it
completely missed him.
It was short-lived. From what I heard, missed a braking zone or had some help and basically went straight into the tire wall, and it was 14 minutes of damage there. So that was short-lived, unfortunately.
Man, unfortunate there for him, but still, yeah, podium streak continues. Sure, you'll recover from the disappointment of tonight, but still a lot to look forward, like you mentioned. And of course, I believe I'm correct in saying you're the defending winner of the Southern 500, so you're going for back-to-back there as well.
That would be correct, and Hank actually won the year prior to that, so it's and Lutz
Lake
before
Norman track.
Lutz before that too. So we kind of got a little streak going, but we don't want to put too many things out there and jinx us early here.
All right. Well, we'll still be hoping to speak with you at the end of that one, or at least one of the Lake Norman cars, as that seems to be the streak that's been running there. So best of luck there, and of course for the rest of the season, man. But great run tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Alrighty then, Tyler Fodey, third place finisher. Those were your top three finishers: Gavel, Enerson, and Fodey. What a run those guys all put together. All of them having to work their way back from kind of further back in the pack at some point in the race, and making their way back up to the front. So all guys that had that pace, had that ability to kind of avoid making major mistakes late in the game, and it paid off big time for the three of them.
Yeah, now we're gonna have to get some rest. I got some notes made for the Southern and the full length. I got to make sure I have dinner beforehand, well beforehand. I got to have a drink. Got to make sure to use the facilities beforehand. So it's always a long broadcast, but it's an exciting one. So ready to get out of here and get some rest for next week.
Absolutely, and that's something for all of you folks at home to look forward to, as well as the Southern 500. And in just the span of 4 weeks' time, we've got 2 crown jewels in the Cup Series packed into that period. So a lot to look forward to. We're kicking off the season fast and furious here, and so make sure you're subscribed here to the Elite Racing Network, following the Elite Racing Leagues on Twitter, as well as the Elite Racing Network on Twitter as well. And of course, check out our fantastic premier sponsors, TA Services, Breezy Cam, and Blue Egg Marketing, as well as joinaps.com. With that all then being said, this has been the Italian Stock Car Challenge. I've been Rish Kosla, joined by Dave Huckleberry in the booth for round number 3 of the Join APS Cup Series. We will see you guys all next week for the Southern 500.